Hi, you guys. This is Misty with the Oracle Evolution, Leo edition. Welcome back to my channel. We are going to jump into a reading, and the focus is on basically a question that I have here that says, what do I need to do to fully transform into the loving partner I long to be? So this is basically about manifesting or creating or having the relationship that you have been longing for, that you desire, really that you deserve. And so we're going to kind of dive in to see what it is that we need to do so that we are receiving that type of love that we deserve. And also, you guys, remember that in order to receive the love that we want, we have to give the love that we want, right? So in the same characteristics and traits that we're looking for in a partner, we want to make sure that we are having those traits as well, or at the very least, like, we're complimenting the person that we are with, or the person that we want to be with. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and dive into the energy, and let's just see what we get. So also, you guys, if you have a question, just, a general question, you can drop it in the comments, and then the next reading that I do that's focused on like a specific question, then yours might be chosen. So let's go ahead and get started. What does Leo need to do to fully transform into the loving partner they long to be? So we're manifesting the relationship of our dreams. This first set of cards, you guys, my hands are really small and the cards are like really long. Yeah, I have to take all of those. So 3 came out. I was really just hoping for 1. But the first card that we have is Divine Feminine. And some of the main things that I'm getting about, like Divine Feminine, is that you have to be open to receiving this love. It's not something that you're just kind of like, you're trying to force a person to have the particular traits that you're looking for. You're not trying to force yourself to have certain traits that, other people are looking for. You're looking for someone who is going to openly receive you as you are. I know you guys have seen like all of these videos with a lot of relationship experts or what have you. And a lot of them talk about characteristics that you need to have and traits that you need to have. And I'm not sure that I exactly agree with that. Like, I really think that there is someone for everyone. And so when you're trying to change yourself to fit in a particular category, oftentimes that's kind of like, when we talk about you wearing a mask or people wearing a mask, isn't that kind of the same thing as putting on a mask if that's not who you naturally are? Just food for thought, and that's just what came to my head, and that's what I think about when I see those. The next one is enchantment. And what I'm getting from this is like, I think about, those fairy tales or whatever. And, they talk about how enchanting things are. And it really has to do with like, you have to be open to, like, you have to maintain like whatever your dream is, like you have to maintain that. That's just kind of part of the magic of manifesting the whatever it is that you're wanting to manifest. And this last one says enlightenment. She has a lot of things. She has, of course, she has a book in one hand. She has lots of arms and hands, right? So she has a book. She has a, I'm gonna call it a banjo, although I know that's not what it is. I think it is something with a B, but I don't know. She has like this jewelry. I mean, she has like a lot of stuff, which means that what I'm getting is like, she's learned a lot of things, a lot of lessons, really. And it's not that she's just learned it, like, I'm hearing set it and forget it, right? So she didn't just learn the things, like, she's actually using them. She's actually incorporating them, like, in her everyday life. And so that's kind of what I'm getting. Like, the lessons that you have learned thus far, like it's kind of like you already know everything it is that you need to know. You have all of the knowledge and skills. It's just about you making sure that you are actually incorporating them, like, into your relationships. So for example, we talk about, like, communication, and everyone communicates in a different way, right? And so let's say by now you've learned, like, your preferred method for communication. Well, not only do you have to know your preferred method of communication, you have to know your partner's preferred method of communication. And you guys have to communicate that to one another, and you guys have to understand and respect it. And if anything comes up, like an issue, something that you guys have to talk about, you have to make sure that you're keeping those things in mind, right? So if like, I don't know, I can't really think of an example, but like, if that raising your voice, because like you're passionate and you're excited, right? And you raise your voice when it's not that you're arguing or fighting or anything, but you're having, some type of discussion, and you raising your voice causes your partner to shut down. You've learned that about your partner. Well, it's not enough just to know that about your partner. When you get into like a discussion, that means don't raise your voice. You know what I mean? So it's like not just having the knowledge, but also incorporating that into your partnership. Okay. So that things actually work out for you, the way that you're wanting them to. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and move those because everything doesn't really fit on here. Okay, Leo, what else do we need to do? So we already have be open to receive. I'm kind of hearing like with that enchantment, keep the dream alive or keep hope alive. And then enlightenment, like, the lessons that you've learned thus far, whatever they are, whatever your situation is, make sure that you're incorporating them. So that's what we have so far. Is there anything from here that we need? Oh, and this one, it says love cures people. So just know that. Just know that, I guess going back to, thinking about like a disagreement, or something like that. I don't know if someone is having a disagreement with the person that they love, or like, maybe you guys aren't speaking or you're not on speaking terms or whatever. But I'm just kind of getting continue to love that person no matter what. If someone is doing something that, like you have set some boundaries, you've set some healthy boundaries, it doesn't mean allow people to cross those boundaries, to overstep those boundaries. Like, you can love people from a distance if you need to, but always still be open, back to that divine feminine, energy, being open to receiving love. And, um, just know that love cures people. At the bottom, it says, it is the connection we can't explain, right? So a lot of the times, like with like I'm hearing real love, I'm searching for a real love. Like when like love, it's not something like you can't really explain like why you love a person. You can explain like, things that they do that benefit you, or things that they do that you like about them. But when it's just like a connection, sometimes you just connect with people. Okay. And there's no real way to to really explain it. Okay. All right. what else? What does Leo need to do to fully transform? And I think that, about love cures people, like that goes back to the enchantment, just keeping that dream alive. What does Leo need to do to fully transform into the loving partner he or she wants to be? Okay. The first one that we have is we have American History X. And what I'm really initially getting from this is about letting go of, like, not holding grudges, letting go of the anger, not keeping score. So, Leo, to really be the loving partner that you long to be, and also to have a loving partner that you deserve to have, like, you have to be the example, right? You can't hold grudges. You can't keep score. I mean, that's a big thing. You cannot keep score. Like, on this day you did this. On this day you said you would do this, but you didn't. Like, don't keep score. Don't keep tabs. Okay, the next card that we have is Gone with the Wind. Okay, give me just a moment. My initial thought with Gone with the Wind, it actually isn't anything on here. It really is about when someone does what you don't like, something, like, let's say someone says something that you didn't like, or they do something that you didn't appreciate. Like, I'm getting, don't ghost them, right? Like, we are adults. So that means if someone has done something that you don't appreciate, or has said something that was offensive to you, that means communicate that to them. Like, don't just, and we're not talking about people that are just blatantly disrespectful. We're not talking about any of that. We're talking about being with an actual partner, someone that there must be some type of feelings there. You can't just walk away without letting the person know what it is, like, what you can't just walk away without telling the person what they did to, I'm hearing the song, You Can Do Damage. And that goes back to the American History X, right? So not only can you not keep score, right? You can't let your baggage, your history, your past, you can't hold people to that standard of, like, if someone hurt you in the past, you can't dangle that over your person's head. Even if you decide to stay with a person who did hurt you, if you choose to stay with them, you can't dangle the past over their head. And especially if you're with a new person, you can't dangle your ex's past actions over your new person's head. So if someone does something that reminds you, like, you remind me of a G, I want to ride, whatever. But, like, just like someone reminds you of something or of someone, like, you can't be upset because it's something that you don't like and then just be like, well, you know what, like, you're a terrible person, so I'm done. This person doesn't even know that, maybe they've triggered you somehow. They need to know if they've triggered you. Misunderstanding, it might just very well be a misunderstanding. Don't be so dramatic. That's what I'm getting. Okay, what else? Okay, we have Rihanna. am I looking at? The main thing, the first thing that I looked at was kiss it better, which is for me, you have to be able to forgive and forget. And the other one with luxury brand, what I'm getting is like you have to expect more, not only from the other person, but expect more of yourself as well in any, in the relationship. Expect more. So, like if there are any red flags, um, I'm still getting you need to talk it out because like it might be a red flag to you. We're not talking about just like the blatant offenses or whatever, but it might be a red flag to you, but this person may not know. And so just kind of talk to them about it. And what I'm getting with expect more is that if that behavior changes, then they really didn't know that they were triggering you. And you just let it go and you move on and, kiss it better, forgive and forget, right? If it is a behavior that continues, it turns into a pattern and they're not meeting your expectations, then they're not the person for you. And that's just what it is. No need to stay in your head about it. If it starts to be a pattern, let it go. So you have to make sure, with expecting more of yourself, if you want to be treated like the king or the queen that you are, you have to make sure that your expectations show that. It's not enough to say, like, I'm a king, I'm a queen, but then you accept, this is what came out, you accept, I'm looking at all of this red, and this is the devil card, right? Which is about temptation. Like, look at his eyes. He's trying to tempt you there. And you accept this behavior because someone looks delicious or someone looks tempting to you, then that's not king or queen behavior. And remember, we teach people how to treat us. Nip it in the bud. That's what I'm hearing. Nip it in the bud. Okay. What else does Leo need to do to fully transform? Woo. Oh, wow. Wheel of Fortune. And it has turned in reverse. And, just so you guys know, if you're not aware, I hadn't seen my other channel, all of my cards are always upright. I don't do reversals in my actual deck. And for me, so when they come out reverse, it's really just reverse. Okay. It's nothing that I manipulated. It just is what it is. And so with this, this is really about your destiny, and things like that. But for this is I'm really getting cut off any unhealthy cycles, right? You have to cut that off. Any cycles of being really overly emotional and accepting empty cups. So that's going back to luxury brand. That goes back to expecting more of yourself and of others. Yeah. What else does Leo need to do to fully transform? Because what happens, you guys, is if you are expecting less from people, if people are not giving you exactly what it is that you want, exactly what it is that you deserve in a relationship, all it causes is resentment. right? And so you're fighting back and forth. Someone's bitter. You're not happy. The other person isn't happy, and it turns into like this toxic thing. That's what turns into kind of like, the struggle love type thing, that struggle love mentality. Um, and if that's something that you've been in, like you can't be a loving partner if you feel resentment. And if you're going to accept, behaviors that are like are crossing a boundary for you, you're going to feel resentment. So again, you have to cut that off. Don't accept any more empty cups. No more. Okay, here we have Three of Pentacles, and behind it we have Ace of Cups. Cup runneth over. So what I'm getting is that when there is a new relationship, number one, you guys have to put in the work. Make sure that you're putting in the work. Again, with the communicating, make sure that you're communicating. Make sure that it's not just you working. Make sure that it's both of you. And I'm also kind of getting, this person is watching and he's kind of grinning. You may not be able to really see that. But what I'm also getting from this is to keep people out of your business. I'm really getting that. Like, don't allow family and friends and outsiders to be in your business. 3 is a crowd. So if your family and friends try to creep in and look, this is the Roman numeral 3, right, for 3 of Pentacles, but I'm just seeing this 111. So someone might be seeing 111 if this is, if that's specific for you. So what I'm getting, you guys, is like if your family or friends try to throw in their 2 or 3 cents, right, as it relates to your relationship, they try to throw that in, throw it back out, and let them know you have to set that firm boundary. You have to set a firm boundary that you're not going to allow outside people in your relationship. Don't allow outside people in your ear trying to influence your actions in your relationship. And you also need to communicate with your partner that's gonna be a boundary. Like if that's something that they allow, you can't have any parts of that, because you don't want to have too many too many hands in the pot, in your honey pot, right? That's too many people. No, this is supposed to be a relationship between 2 people, period. At the bottom is the Magician, and what I'm getting from that is like when you allow other people in your relationship, like it takes away kind of like the magic. it takes away from the relationship, because sometimes, and you may not know this, or you may not see this, or the other person may not know this or see this about their family or friends, is that sometimes misery loves company. And so you guys are all like on this, magic carpet ride of love, and they're not. They've settled for less, or, like their passion has run out in their relationship, or they don't have a relationship. And misery loves company. So you just have to be really careful with that. It doesn't matter how long you've been friends, or, how close the family members are. You really have to keep outside people out of your relationship, period. Yeah, at the top is the Page of Swords. And I'm just getting like them saying things, childish things, or things like from, perhaps they haven't learned their own lessons. in love, or they've learned incorrect lessons and they're trying to place those on you. So just, be careful with that. Okay, what else? What does Leo need to do to fully transform into the loving partner they long to be? Okay, we have Four of Pentacles. Sorry. This smoke is kind of messing up the camera here. So again, I'm getting, like, you see how he's kind of guarding his pentacles. It goes back to, like what I was just talking about of, like keeping this, like keeping other people away from your relationship. You need to guard it. Yeah. Guard it. And essentially, because what you're doing is like you're guarding the relationship, which is, whatever this is, like, when you get this relationship, it's going to lead to happiness, right? So you need to guard it, preserve it. At the top, we have Seven of Pentacles. And I'm seeing like he's being creative, like, it says butt double auditions. He's being creative about like, what he can do to get this Emmy or whatever this is. You're gonna have to be creative with, like, because people, they may just act like, they're just making conversation. Oh, how's it going with Mark? Right? And I don't know a Mark. But they may ask you that question, and it seems like, they're just asking, they're just checking on me. But sometimes that's not always the case. And so you may have to think of creative ways of responding to that question. This smoke is really, from the incense, is messing up the focus. So you may have to be, see how he's thinking. You may have to be creative with, how you respond to that. Because you may not want to, like hurt people's feelings or, whatever. So just, think of creative ways in advance of like how you can just brush that question off. Anything else? What does Leo need to do to fully transform into the loving partner they long to be? Okay. Gonna do one more run, and then if not, we're gonna move on. Okay, that fell on the floor. That fell on the floor. What fell on the floor? We have Six of Wands, which has to do with celebration. And so while I'm not going to place them here, I am going to say, make sure that you guys are spending time with one another, going out on dates, having fun, celebrating, like, I used to think it would be really silly, like when growing up, like in high school or whatever, and it's like, oh, it's our 1 month anniversary. And it's like, how can you have a 1 month anniversary? Well, if you have a new relationship, I don't care, celebrate it. Like, who cares about, what people think about your 1 month anniversary celebration? If this is an established relationship and you're just trying to bring that spark back, do it big. And it doesn't mean like for other people to see, like do it big for you and your partner. Like, make an effort to go out on a trip with just the two of you. If you have kids, this is an established relationship, no kids, just you. Celebrate your relationship. You don't always have to have someone in between, right? So you should already be celebrating like as a family, going out on trips and having fun, doing fun things. But also, you need to have fun, just you and your partner, period. And that makes for a happier, mom and dad, so that you have all that positive, good energy when you get home to your kids. Like, you have to take care of yourselves in that sense. You have to take care of your relationship. And if it's a brand new relationship, like, celebrate and keep celebrating. Let the person know just, how happy you are, you know, how blessed you feel, how much you feel, how you feel about them, and vice versa. And they should be letting you know the same. I'm looking at this trophy and I'm just like, you should be able to walk around with one another like, you know, you're their trophy and they're your trophy. Like, you shouldn't be like, don't be ashamed. Don't try to hide, like, who it is that you love. Don't get people involved in your relationship, like in the details and the nitty gritty in your business, but also don't make it look like you're ashamed of the person. Yeah, with that judgment, what I'm getting, with him, blowing that trumpet, like, you're not ashamed of who you're with. Show it. At the bottom, we have Eight of Wands. I'm kind of getting the feeling that someone has another person coming in quick, or the changes to your relationship, like, it's about to happen quickly if you incorporate, like, whatever the changes are that you need to make. Like, you're going to see results very quickly. Okay, what fell out, what came out, we have Queen of Wands, which, this is about passion, right? And I'm thinking about, what do you need to do to fully transform? You need to make sure that you stay in that passionate energy. I'm looking at all of the yellow, which, I'm thinking solar plexus chakra, which has to do with confidence. So making sure that you fully embrace yourself, as you are, love yourself as you are, because your partner is going to love you as you are. It doesn't mean that you can't, like, exercise or, eat right and make improvements to yourself. Absolutely, you can. Um, but in the meantime, still love yourself as you are. I'm looking at these lions. I never really noticed them before. But for me, that's, like, also, like, just, I guess it kind of goes with the confidence as well. But don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to just be who you are. And of course, we can't, like, with this black cat here, like, make sure that you're using your intuition. Going back to, like, when we talked about, if you notice any red flags, whatever. And then, is this the last one out of this? Yeah. This one right here, we have Justice. And what I'm getting from this is for you to make sure that you keep yourself, I'm really getting, keep your emotions in check and your words. Because I'm kind of getting, your words can really hurt, if, especially, like, I know, yeah, words can hurt. So just stay balanced with your emotions. You are a fiery person. You're a Leo. But when you're triggered, make sure that you're still staying grounded, stay calm, and choose your words carefully. Stay balanced. Okay, so we're going to get our final messages. This is just from to simply be me Oracle deck. It is very well used. It's like the first deck I ever created. Let's see what messages we get. What does Leo need to do to fully transform into the loving partner they long to be? Yeah, be frugal. What I'm getting from that is it's really about, as it relates to your relationship, making sure that you're not overgiving as far as your emotions, as far as your time and your energy. Like right off the bat, this is really like I'm hearing what you what you put in is what you get out, and that's not really for you. That I'm really getting that should be your attitude towards this, the people in your life. Stop overgiving. Stop overgiving. Doesn't mean don't give. It doesn't mean don't show love, but stop overgiving. If you notice that someone pulls their energy back from you, then you pull back. And if the energy, like if there's pretty much no spark and no energy, just cut it off. I'm hearing you need to cut it. Just cut it off. Like we can't be in this lack mentality, like, oh, I have to make it work with this person because there's no one else in the world. Yeah, there is. Okay, what does Leo need to do to fully transform? Yeah, we talked about this one, the be balanced with this justice here. Be balanced. Make sure that you stay, I'm just still hearing, like, keep your emotions in check. Yeah. At the bottom, it says be a good listener. And so what I'm getting is like, if you hear something, if something happens, and like going back to that conversation, listen, like don't make your decision beforehand. And don't bring in your past baggage. Don't, like you can't help, like when you're being triggered, you can't help that, right? But you can help how you react and how you respond. So listen first, like communicate, allow the person to speak their piece. Listen carefully, listen closely without judgment. Like don't come in like with, like you already have everything like made up in your head about what the person's going to say and what they really mean. Like don't do that. Just listen, just be a good listener, and then like you make your decisions from there. Yeah, be decisive. And that goes back to like if things aren't working out, if you're noticing like people like the relationship is stagnant, if you've noticed that you've communicated with a person and they're now making things a habit, a pattern, like you have to decide, is this going to be something that I'm going to put up with or not? If it's not, cut it off, move on. If it is, stop whining about it. At the bottom, it says be prepared. And what I'm getting from that is like, you may need to go ahead and make a list of like your non negotiables. When you meet someone, it doesn't mean like read your non negotiables off to them. Like, don't do that. But you need to have an awareness of what your non negotiables are. Okay, anything else? I know we're already at almost 40 minutes. Yeah, be independent. And what I'm getting from that is like if you have been dealing with toxic or codependent relationships, could be, whatever, due to something in your past or some type of trauma or something like that. But I'm getting that you've already learned the lessons. You can't see the card anymore, but you've already learned the lessons about, number one, how to identify toxic behaviors. You already know how to identify codependent relationships. You already know how to identify when you're getting in that energy, right? And you're starting to be, codependent on someone, or when someone is being codependent on you. You already know those things. That's what I'm getting. You already know, Leo. And you have to make sure that you are crystal clear. Is that going to be something that you're going to allow in your relationship? What you're being told is to be independent, not codependent. Be independent. So what that means, or you can even say interdependent, right? But you can be independent within a relationship. You can have like things that you do together as a couple, and then things that you do separately. You don't have to be enmeshed in one another, basically. Like where I go, that's what I'm here. Wherever I go, he goes, my buddy. I don't know if anyone remembers that. Like you don't have to be enmeshed in one another. It's okay. Like you have to, at the bottom it says be brave. So if, like, I don't know, maybe you've had an issue with like a past history of people, I don't know, like maybe you've had someone cheat on you in the past, I don't know. You still have to be brave and be courageous in your new relationship, and trust that you can handle, like, first of all, you can know that you are able to choose the correct person who's not going to do that to you. Or even if they have a past of that, you've made sure that you've set up you have a firm foundation that you've worked on before, like putting your whole heart in there. Or you've established clear boundaries of what you will and you will not accept. Or whatever, that you're brave enough to walk away if it's time to walk away. You don't have to be used and abused, or whatever. You don't have to allow that type of behavior. You've learned that already, Leo. Now it's time to incorporate that into life. And just remember, love cures people. So like if one relationship doesn't work out, it shouldn't be the end of all relationships that you ever have. It shouldn't mean that you're never going to love again. That means whatever you were in, it was just meant to be a lesson, and you add it to your repertoire and you move on. I'm going to do two more. So be tolerant. That goes back to it's kind of repeating. So that goes back to making sure that you're not bringing in, like using your baggage really of like, what someone else's dirt. How someone else did you wrong, or how someone else hurt you in the past. And, you're using that, to beat over your new person. Or even if, like I said, even if you're going to stay in the same relationship and you've already decided that you're going to tolerate, like you're going to let bygones be bygones, let bygones be bygones. Don't bring it up anymore. And be confident is at the bottom. So you have to know, going back to trust, be confident in the decisions that you're making. Okay, last one. What does Leo need to do? Be reliable, which is funny because right underneath at the bottom it says be consistent. So this for me is about, like, you have to know that you can count on yourself, that you can trust in yourself, and your partner has to know that they can rely on you and they can count on you to be exactly who you said you would be, exactly who you say that you are. If you are what you say you are, a superstar, then have no fear. Yeah, that's what I'm hearing. And it goes back to, we talked about, like, don't wear a mask. Don't, like what those relationship experts are trying to tell you, like, oh, you need to do this, this, and this, and you need to be this, this, and that. And then you can't even keep it up. Don't do that to your person. And make sure that you're using your intuition and you're vetting the person that you're with, and you're setting boundaries with that person to make sure that they're not doing that to you. Yeah. Anything else? I think that's it, you guys. We're already at 45 minutes, so I'm just going to go ahead and leave it there. But thank you so much for watching. Again, this is Misty with the Oracle Evolution Leo Edition. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, share the video if you liked it, if you loved it. And you know what? Even if you didn't, I love you, Leo. Take care.